only halfway to where we need to be with them. We got them roasting beans and making and distributing and selling coffee. But wait till we get to VR and we start taking people around the world with virtual reality. That's going to be, I mean, that's world-changing stuff. That's really cool. Um, and software stuff is, if you're not a software person, maybe it's not exciting to you. But this Delta Bravo software, Comporium loves it.
Yeah.
Atlas Copco also became the second corporate customer.
Okay.
So they're doing some serious sales that we hooked them up with the testers, the beta testers. So people don't know we're a little tech town here. We got a sampling of these software companies. There's probably, I don't know, 6 or 8 serious software companies here that are doing really good stuff, and they're going to grow. Simplex, one of our graduate companies, is over in the Fountain Park Place building. They hired 50 people to do Obamacare compliance for employers when they had to track and file tax forms and all that. And when Trump got elected and nobody knew what was going to happen, all of a sudden their market dried up overnight. They still have their original 70 customers, but they went from 50 employees to about 15. So they pivoted into a new area, and they pivoted back out into the market as a HR service company. They're back up to 30 people, and they're doing some pretty cool stuff too. They're not a client in here right now, but I mean they're a high-end software company, and they're in the Fountain Park Place building, so you have to be making some money to pay the rent over there. So it's, these are good stories and good companies. I want to get these faces and these personalities on the screen. It's our entrepreneur ecosystem. There's probably 24 people we could put on camera.
Well, I'll definitely let Lucas and Laura Bree know, and definitely run
Well,
it.
Laura Bree knows. I mean, I've talked with her. We had Pamela over here at least once or twice, and Sean has been over here. So we've all sat around the table, and I've spelled out 40 stories that we could do tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I can't chase you all. I mean, if you
no.
guys are story hungry, come here and I'll give you the next one.
Yeah. Oh, definitely Renee about it.
And Renee's been up here too, and she's shot segments up here before, and that. We know a lot of you all. I didn't know you two, but I knew.
Well, we're both obviously.
You're on the
behind.
ad side.
We're behind
You're in the
on
advertising back.
Yeah. But okay, so just for this, obviously stuff like this does stem into bigger projects, like these big tech software companies. But as far as this, what do you think this event is doing for these students?
This is on camera now?
Yes, we are
Okay.
on camera.
Have we been on camera this whole time?
I recorded just a little
You
bit.
dirty dog.
You did some good stuff.
Now,
That's
so
okay, that's fine.
You're a pro, obviously. Look at me,
I-
and then repeat.
The
my
camera looks
question.
pretty. You're easier to look at than the camera.
Thank
So
you.
at least you have some. You're breathing and you're.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, as far as what this specific event and events like this, like what do you think this is doing for students? At the core of this, it's not just about them learning how to make this one device. What do you think this is doing for students?
So what is the Great IoT Hackathon event doing for students, i.e. the participants that are here? So the folks that are in the Great IoT Hackathon, it's a mouthful to say, are mostly college students. I think there's 25 college students and I think 5 high school students. They get a chance to come in and play with technology in a way that you can't do it in school. Schools don't have this kind of hardware and software or even the experience to teach it because it's brand new technology. So when we have an interested professor like Andrew Bessemer, Professor Bessemer at Winthrop, who knows and he plays with this stuff for fun as well as teaches it in the classroom at Winthrop, but they don't really get to do the hands-on in class. So when you have this hackathon, and this is, of course, could be the world's longest IoT hackathon, we don't know. So obviously IoT is Internet of Things. It might be the longest. It could be, we could have the first connected technology incubator when they install all their projects here. And that's what they get. They don't get to do this in school. There's actually a space where they can install these Internet of Things projects. And I'm anxious to see what they come up with. I'm a little scared, a little apprehensive. I don't know what they're going to do because my space is going to be smarter than I am. And so I don't know if we're going to get along or not, but I think we are because I think these are all friendly projects that put some gee whiz into the space. So flashing lights and voice activated responses and TVs and lights, and I don't know what else they're coming up with, but it's going to be fun. And they're having fun, and they get skills that they don't get in school. So it's not just a software class. Software is part of it. It's not just hardware, but soldering a circuit board and putting wires together and sensors, that's part of it. And they get to install in a space. So it's not just for fun. They're actually putting a project into place in a building. And so that's real. There's a real back-end result to this stuff, and they can see the results of their labors. And the fun part about this event for the students is that rather than make it a contest where people win cash and money and take that home, they get to keep all the devices they're playing with. So they get these little photon programming devices, little mini computers they work with. They get to bring the circuit boards and the wiring, and they get some of the light sensor, or the LED light strips and the sound and motion sensors. They get to have some of this to take back to their bedroom if they're at home, or their dormitory if they're at Winthrop, or their apartment if they're off campus, and they can wire up the stuff right in their own space. And now they know how to do it. So they can create entirely new projects using voice activation or motion sensors or whatever else they want with the Internet of Things. So there's just no other way you get that kind of experience without doing it. So it's an intensive hands-on, learn by doing kind of thing. And there's no time or resource to do that in a classroom setting in most cases.
So what do you think? So